Hey everyone, SpeeDMan here. Welcome to this episode of the Age of Abundance Challenge. So, we're going to go ahead and do a few things in this episode. We are going to make the direct push for the win. We're going to do a little bit of expansion for the west. So, we are eventually going to try to buy a few military units that can work their way through some of these cities, at least while they are weaker, so that way we can try to quickly take them. So basically by doing that, we can actually reduce the amount of tourism that we'll have to get later on in the game. So it just makes things a little bit easier. While we're at it, we're also getting ready to set up eventually a war over here in the east side. So we're basically going to take this particular caravel, eventually upgrade it into an ironclad. We're going to eventually take this frigate and upgrade that into a battleship. That way they can get started on that side of the war. We do have a few things we want to be doing though. Economically, I want us to go ahead and start focusing our resources a little bit towards trying to get a little bit more money output if we can. So we've already got most of everything we can put on for the time being. And plus, there's a little trick I want to go ahead and show a little bit of. So the trick here is in a situation like this actually works better in the base game than anything else because of our situation being that we don't have as much flexibility to do other mechanics. If you're in a situation where you, for example, like say you have the tourism overview mod, and you can see here that we are limited in terms of what we have. So we don't have open borders in most of these other civilizations, and we don't have trade routes. It's harder to have a lot of that. We can eventually develop trade routes, but we won't be able to have open borders, so that extra 25% tourism is always going to be off the book, basically. And to work around that, you declare war. And when you declare war, after 10 turns, basically what you could do is then at that point, you make peace. In the same turn that you make peace, you have to actually not only set up open borders, but I would ideally recommend also if there are trade deals, like for example, there are some great works of writing or art or anything like that that's available to potentially pick up, do that then. That is a very short window, but it is the shortest window and only window you'll have in that particular period of time before they re-denounce you. So just a little trick that you want to be aware of. Online communities is also a good one, so I'll have to give that a thing. I'll go ahead and at this point, I'll go ahead and take that one off and put this one on. I could use the extra push for tourism, so that is going to give us a little bit of tempo as well. But now that we've gotten that done, we want to go ahead and consider what else we could work on in the meantime. We do want to try to remember we are going to need to push for combustion. That is going to be very, very, very essential that we get that, because if we can get set up with the tank, that is going to amplify our damage output pretty heavily. But we want to try to avoid getting steel for now. So let's continue working on other stuff. I'll probably put this one back on, so economically we're in a good spot. The rest of all that looks pretty good. There's fascism. The extra 5 combat strength would help us. I'm going to go ahead and actually just go into this for a little while. Start working on getting this leveled up. By the time this becomes further leveled up, eventually we'll have actually enough gold to get basically just buy another bombard, and then we could use that bombard specifically to aid this one, give it a little bit more combat strength, and that'll kind of give us a good advantage. So let's see, we're at 66 health, so let's keep fortifying. Now I want to see how that's going to look fairly soon here. Leave that tack.
Very simple.
Actually a really good way for us right there, because he tried to attack us. I actually gave this unit a little bit of extra tempo because I am 3, so basically you can see I'm 9 XP away from level 3. I'm basically 3 full city attacks away from being in a good spot. So now all I need to do is just move up 1, and then I'll be in a good spot ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down. Let's see here. Actually, I might go ahead and bring this, this is a perfect spot. Because I can move this up now. That's better. Yep, that's better. Because I can move this up and start attacking it.
If it weren't for
I'll be in a good spot and ready to do
plan.
that for next turn. So let's go up. I can't attack it right away. That's fine. I'll have to wait till next turn. You usually can't attack if you don't have movement until you have the expert cruise promotion. And it's usually not until all the way, like, it's the 3rd one down. So it's a little ways away. There's another builder. And again, by taking more tempo away from the AI, we are gaining little by little more tempo. So this is going to be aiding us a little by little, so that's fine. Russia has quite a bit as well, but honestly, by taking these regions, we're going to be in a better spot. So we'll leave this city and we'll make our way through this region here. We're close to getting plastics, so that's good. Once we have set up with a couple of these knights to eventually have tanks, or at least having one tank army for the time being, we're going to be in a very, very powerful position that we can start taking cities a good bit faster than we were before. Basically the damage to health is going to be so much more than before that we could actually start taking cities out just that little bit faster. So it's all going to help relative to our position. Successful. Excellent. We could use the gold, so that works. Goodbye, city. That city is now gone. Aluminum. Okay. Interesting. I didn't think I was going to see two adjacent spawns like that, but that's useful. Well, just nice to have, really, at this point. I mean, we're kind of going through this fast enough to where it's not going to be super useful, but, you know, I digress. Plus, it's also developing our position even further by taking all these cities. I mean, we're at over 1,000 culture now, and what that does is further that further boosts our religion, culture, words. I mean, that's not bad. It's not super useful, but it's not bad. Promotion level, combat experience, naval unit, eh. It's not really going to do anything to these guys. The only thing it would do is just provide a free promotion, which honestly, they're kind of already pretty well set up anyways. So, I mean, not really that big for me. Yeah, I would say, honestly, right now, those two, broadcast centers, as nice as they are, it's just most of these cities, the vast majority of them, do not have the infrastructure to be able to build a broadcast center in a decent time frame. Like it's way too slow. It's absolutely just way too slow. So that stuff is fine for now. I am going to go ahead and consider, let's see here, after Bolshoi, we get our gold really going back again. Honestly, getting an Eiffel Tower build could be pretty good, because that's going to give us more appeal, which gives us more tourism, which gives us more pressure for the win. So that is an idea. Another success. That's really good. That's a lot more gold. And again, we need the gold, so we are going to continue getting more of that. Let's see here. That stuff's looking okay. So let's try that. So we're going to have to get rid of that farm so that way we can place down a seaside resort. Actually, no, it's gotta be on flatland. It can't be on a I don't think I can be on a cliffside. Let me go ahead and test that, though. I'll test that just to see if that works.
Thus,
that's going to help us a lot. So getting that built is good. I can just continue hard building Big Ben. So by the time, if we are in a situation where the game's not over and we use it, there's going to be a lot of benefit to it. This is ready for promotion, and Cristo Redentor is done, so we're just going to go straight into that. That's a little bit of damage. That's not that bad. That's a good bit, but it's not terrible. Oh, man, come on. You just upgraded to Grr. There we go. Enough tourism to be culturally dominant over Arabia. That's good. So that's one of the first ones for us to be getting. So that's important. We want to be making sure that we get continue growth, really. For that, let's see here. I'm not a fan of the antiquity sites making this a lot more impassable, though, so that's fine, but it's just kind of more of an annoyance than anything else. There we go. Definitely need to rush these units over as fast as I can, because if I can start doing damage against these other cities, it's going to definitely save some time on this attack. We need to go ahead and regroup a little bit. And that should be the point where we get a lot more output. Yeah, 137 or 138 out of 170, so we need only 32. So basically we need to, if we want to get the sub 400, which means basically in 8 turns, we need to get an average of 4 points of tourism per turn. By ending the war and then setting some stuff up in the next couple turns here, that should accelerate that a little bit. So we're at 138, so we are making progress. Now we're in a position where I want to go ahead and kind of think about potentially getting more trade routes to other people. So let's see, who can we make a trade route to that's going to benefit us the most? We don't have one to Russia. That wouldn't hurt. Let's see here. Russia is a good one. Russia's definitely a good one. Memba and Zinga. So let's see here. We don't have one with Russia. We do have one with Memba and Zinga. So I would say one to Russia could actually be good. We'll do that. We'll end our turn. Hopefully not die. That is insane. I love it. That was so loud. That was unbelievably loud, but it worked. Ha! Okay, well, you know what? That is a perfect point for us to stop the war. That is excellent. Okay, we'll... I'll take just about everything you've got. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly do this. Let's see here. Make a trade route. Raw Cadet. There we go. And then I am also going to go ahead and set up open borders, mutual open borders. That way we are in a very, very good spot. And now we should be in a good spot to go for the victory. So, okay, that's good. Instead of 4, we got 9 that turn. That's really good. That accelerated our position a little bit more than I thought it would, so that's good. Let's go ahead and just honestly start healing up. We've got some seriously low health units that need the health right now. And honestly, this military push has actually kind of been good. It's a little trickier in the later phases of the game. So in Prince difficulty, they don't have the extra damage bonuses that are done against you. And ideally, honestly, because this started in the Renaissance era, like at the beginning of the Renaissance era, we technically kind of skipped 3 individual eras, which does add a bit of a challenge in some of the potential options you have. So going for kind of like a domination style conquest like this works, but you have to be a little bit, like, you have to change your strategy a little bit. You have to do things a little bit differently and kind of be more patient about it. But this is good. That should exert a pretty good amount
I never think of the
control
future
over the area. So let's see here. That went down a little bit. That's great. That went down by 1, and that went up by 5, I think. I don't remember the exact number, but something like, yeah, it went up by 5. So that's good. So technically that's like a 6 gain, because that would be a -1, +5. So that would be good. Well, we might as well see if we could just take one more city. Well, set up to take another city. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the game.
the worth of a culture
Unfortunately, did not get
is
this
not
sub
measured by its
400
accomplishments,
victory like I wanted. We came very, very close, so it was a
but
very
in
good
how
game.
those
Nonetheless.
accomplishments land.
This has been a Journey for the Age of Abundance challenge. I do want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. SpeeDMan out.